it's Pamela. Welcome back. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being awesome. Please like this video if you like it. Please subscribe and remember to hit the little bell to be notified if you want to be notified when I do post a new video. I am an expert at helping people find love by removing the blocks that have been in their way, and also by looking at their essential love makeup and attraction makeup in their astrological chart first. Now let's get into it. So speaking of which, Venus in Capricorn. This is for a woman or someone with a feminine energy, how they are in love. And in a man's chart with a more masculine energy, it's what they're instantly attracted to and not necessarily something that will create any sort of longevity, although it could. Look at the whole chart for that. Okay, so it really is this attraction based, what you attract in a way, and where you feel love. And so when we look at this, anyone with their Venus in Capricorn, the first thing that you need to note is security is a big, big part of who these people are. They need and what they require. They need to feel secure. And because the world that we live in is funded by money, they really need to feel financially secure. And so with that being said, or at least in a secure job, let's say, or in a secure situation. Now, since we're talking about Venus, this means being in a secure union. So these are the people where if they are in a union where their partner isn't, I guess, lifting their weight, if you will, they're just not going to be happy. It's going to be a Sahara Desert down there, if you will, a no-go zone. And although that's kind of relating to women a bit, for the men it would just be a no-go zone. So that is a huge part of what these people need. Some people say that Venus and Capricorns can be a little gold digger-esque. However, I would say that that's probably more Venus in Taurus if I had to choose one. And the reason for that is that a Venus in Capricorn really doesn't have these high expectations in love like a Venus in Taurus does, if that makes sense. And they're more concerned about being with someone who they can create a plan with, rather than someone who looks good. They want it to actually be good. And so they're okay with dating someone who's maybe not a goddess or god in terms of their looks, as long as that person is stable and can provide for them and what they're looking for, or at least pulls their weight, someone who is successful, someone who's in a career that they really enjoy, something that they're passionate about. These people need to be with passionate people. Now, on the surface, it does seem like a Venus in Capricorn is quite cool, calm, collected, and calculated. And although that is true, don't let that fool you. Quite often, Venus and Capricorn individuals really like when you take the lead in love. It's mostly when I see the Mars in Capricorn that changes a bit. But Venus in Capricorn, from what I've noticed, actually, you guys, let me know. What have you noticed with this? Please, I read all of your comments. Have you noticed that? A lot of Venus in Capricorns that I know, they kind of like to sit back and observe and see if you are up to par, if you will. Because they almost feel like the more that they get involved, the more that they interject. I mean, they are very intelligent people. I know a lot of people that have their Venus in Capricorn. And they feel like, the more that they interject in the situation is the less real and accurate kind of results that they can get, the less predictable results they can get. They would rather just sit back and see who you actually are first. So don't think that they're not into you unless, I hate to say it, but unless you're in a job that you hate and, you're just not someone who's really super motivated, let's say, to create something amazing, well, they're probably not going to be into you, man or woman, masculine or feminine. But if you are, well, there's a good chance that they just want to see if, there's more to you than just that. Because these people do want deep passion as well. It's just for some reason they don't really show that. Well, not for some reason, right? Saturn and Venus. So they just open up a lot slower than, say, like a Venus in Sagittarius would or something like that. They are a lot, it's not so much that they're guarded, although, maybe a little bit. It's more that they really just like to make sure. They like to make good decisions. Now, with that being said, any Venus in Capricorn person that I know made some very questionable decisions earlier in their dating history. And it's kind of like because they wanted to deny this free-flowing love energy in a way. And in that denial, it quite often, in what I've seen with people, has manifested in making very interesting love choices. Although they like to think that they are very mature in love. And even if the person seems like they aren't on the surface, usually with a Venus in Capricorn, again, don't let that fool you. They probably do want to be in a serious relationship. And if they act like they don't, they could, look at the whole chart, be testing you. So anyone with this Venus placement is going to be successful. Because, of course, again, look at the whole chart. I have to keep saying that. I can't emphasize that enough. Generally speaking, unless there's something going on, they are. And that's because this is love. This is what they love. And so they love success. So to not be successful when they love success, isn't really, the chances are pretty slim. So with that being said, a woman with this Venus placement is probably very bottom line thinking. She doesn't understand how people are not. She doesn't like, and unless there's something else going in the chart, when people don't have a purpose or a point. And she feels like it's a bit difficult to probably let go in a way because Saturn, Capricorn, this is very controlled. Like they do like to be in control. And so this idea of letting someone else kind of take over control is sexy and kind of there's a wall there as well. So it's a bit of a tricky thing a bit of a tricky dance that they have to do. So my advice to any woman with this placement, and really any man, any person, is learn when to let go and when to not. Practice letting go. And if you have people around you that you wouldn't seriously date, I wouldn't want to let go with those people anyway. So get really clear on what your values are and your standards, and don't push this attraction to success away. Don't feel like you're like a bad person. Don't feel guilty about it. Just accept that you like successful people because you have the success gene in you too. You're allowed to like that if that's what you're doing yourself, right? And for a man with this placement, he really is into the feminine energy, or the more masculine energy is into this feminine energy, or woman who really is a bit of a dominator. She's really good at going to either extreme, where she can really open up and let go, and she can take the lead, but then she can also go the other way, if you will. So someone who can really go either side, from being like a dominating force, or someone who really lets that person take over. So please keep that in mind. And both men and women with Venus and Capricorn can definitely tend to be quite kinky, you know, my little kinky Cappies out there. And so keep that in mind as well. Also, if you meet someone with their Venus in Capricorn and they aren't doing what they're passionate about, they are probably not the best dating prospect. Because while a Venus in Capricorn is not doing what they're passionate about, they're usually, they can either be the best partners or maybe not the best. And I've seen it happen where they're really not as committed. They're not in a place to be faithful, for example, when they're not doing what they're really passionate about in their career or their life. So do watch out for that. Otherwise, these people make amazing partners, especially once you get to know them, once you spend time with them. Like a fine wine, they do get better with age as well, and they become more deeply passionate as they do get older. You know, as a kid, they kind of had to be a little bit tough, and maybe they were given a lot of like tough love in a way. So do keep that in mind. But they love when people bring them out of this. They love feeling safe, secure, and they want to be with someone who they actually believe they can create an empire with. So do keep that in mind. Okay, so do you have your Venus in Capricorn? Let me know. Are you in love with someone with their Venus in Capricorn? I love Venus in Capricorn. I think it's awesome when people have this placement. I have this placement as well. And like I said, I know a ton of people that have it. So whether it's day or night, I love you, I love you, I love you. Please click here to check out my recent video. Please click here to subscribe, and please click here to go to my website. And if you do want to book a one-on-one session with me, you can go to my website, and I'm excited to meet you. To all my clients, I'm so proud of you, and to all of you watching this, I'm sending all of you love and healing energy as well. Thank you so much. Bye.